and I bring out my notes, and I said, I don't normally take notes, but in this particular case, I took some notes. And I said, do you know that she thinks so-and-so about such and such? And he goes, no. And do you know that he thinks that such and such about something? No. And I said, well, you kids got to get your head screwed on straight somehow, or you're going to have big trouble. Anyway, they got a divorce about 6 months later. But they both decided, because they had a business together, they couldn't go forward with the business. I forget what the business was, but it was something, And they both went on the net. And they're both making a lot of money on the net, separately, doing separate things. From scratch. No background, no nothing. And that is where you can, it's like the gold rush days. You can start from scratch. I've helped property developers on the net. I've helped them sell out their stupid fucking projects they couldn't give away. I remember one of the biggest builders in Asia, and they're having projects selling out this, 300 unit, whatever, I don't know what it is, some piece of shit. And Ken, have you tried the internet? What for? We hire through such and such an agent. No, not hiring people. I'm talking about selling these load of shite that you got. No, we didn't think of that. And I said, why don't you take one of your worthless kids and put him on it? And a year later, 65% of the project sold out. And then he did me one better. He started selling on Facebook. Not just pay-per-click. He says, did you tell Mr. Pena about, we're playing golf, did you tell Mr. Pena about how I'm selling on Facebook? He's a lawyer, Lawyers can be retrained. Yeah. And he said, yeah. He says, yeah. And so now they're selling on Facebook. I said, what? And I didn't know about that. Now I know about it, and so now we use it. But because Twitter, Facebook, all those other social media things are great outlets. There's a lot of different ways to skin the cat. Most of the property guys, the small guys, haven't figured that out yet. They haven't figured that out yet. Okay. Well, welcome aboard. Glad you finally made it. Now you don't know this, and I'm not trying to make you happy or make you scared, but all these guys are German. They're all from Germany. Okay, he lives in the Channel Islands, but they're all German. They're all German. He's Romanian, which is kind of like a half-assed German. So I'm glad to see a regular person. Notwithstanding, Australia is not exactly regular, but anyway. The three people that are still on their way are three Chinese, and hopefully they'll get here. A father and two sons, the Chens. And the one American has probably died on the way. I haven't heard from him. And being an American, he was a weak cunt anyway, so he didn't show up. So what can I tell you? And Minutia never makes any money. Right now we're talking about, we just started the 7 steps of the seminar. Because before lunch today was all introduction. Okay, so now we're 10% into the first step. And it's about building your own personal foundation. We went through rules, there are no rules. Now we're beyond common sense. Because common sense dictates a lot of what we do in life. Too much in my judgment. The part of that is beyond common sense is minutia never makes money, it only makes manure. Did you understand what minutia is? No, I know do you? Verstehen?
Details, Kleinigkeit.
Your specialty. Detail is your specialty, is the German specialty. It's the core du jour. Detail. Cross the T, dot the I. Spreadsheet after spreadsheet. Jawohl, mein Herr. Next seminar, in your guys' honor, I'm going to change these slides. There's the German way and there's the QLA way. I wish that I had been perceptive enough to understand that before when I was reading, doing some of these slides, but I wasn't. Minutia doesn't make anything. And this is a hard concept, especially when you're very detail oriented. computers have done a great deal of harm by making managers even more inwardly focused. I couldn't think of his name, Peter Drucker. I apologize. He died a year or two ago. And Peter Drucker and I agreed on only one or two things, one of which is computers that fucked up small businesses, small to medium-sized businesses, and the entrepreneur. And he believed harm for making managers even more inwardly focused. Because we spent way too much time on computers. And I'm not even going to go where the kids are wasting all their time on computers. But that's already a proven fact. They're getting tunnel syndrome and all the other stuff. And now there's a new line of psychiatry that's come out to help kids, get unaddicted to Twitter and all this other stuff, which is a pretty pathetic thing. Now, when I was a kid, of course, we didn't have anything, but I was so poor. I had a possum for a dog. I had a possum for a dog. I didn't have any fucking bicycle or any of that kind of stuff. Unlike my spoiled children. But I mean, we used to run around. We got in a lot of trouble. Ran around and, we didn't rob people, but we certainly beat a lot of people up for fun. So we weren't smart enough to take their money. I was telling Walt and Howard when I met with them in Las Vegas, these two guys I've known 50 years, when we're beating all these guys up, why don't we take their goddamn money? And Walt and Howard looked at me and said, we never thought of it. I mean, if we're gonna get arrested anyway. We're going to jail anyway. So when we thumping them, then we just take their goddamn wallet. We take their money out of the wallet and we go, yeah. And Walt says, the German, the intellect, they go, yeah. We should, since we're going to get arrested and get in trouble anyway, but we never did. We never stole their money. Anyway, I would have made then that might have led to bank robberies, and so I'm glad just assume we didn't steal anybody's money. Okay, we're still in the first, and we're talking about personal foundation. Now to focus on the ends, not the means. You guys, I say with respect, are focused on the detail more than the ends. You justify in your own mind that the way you get to this, especially the way you get to the ends is you have to focus on the detail. I don't agree. I can prove to you categorically without a shadow of a doubt. You don't have to focus on. Somebody has to focus on the detail. That's the differentiation. Just as you said, your partners, you don't trust them to do the numbers because then you wouldn't trust the numbers. You trust the numbers because you do the numbers.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm here to say that you can hire somebody for 20,000 euros a year or 2,000 euros a month part-time to do your goddamn numbers. You can hire a university student, a PhD in finance student, that can run the numbers 1,000 times better than you. You show him how to do it one time, and he will do, or she will do, or it will do, because there's some of this cross-gender shit. It will do your job. It will do your job. You can hire somebody like him. I wouldn't, but you can hire somebody like him with 170 IQ. They could do that no problem. My son, when we were looking at numbers of some of these Chinese companies, he said, Dad, we go back to the hotel, we have a drink, and he says, son, I have a 26-year-old son who just got an MBA who I moved to China to learn how to speak Chinese. Anyway, so we're sitting in the bar. Hey, Dad, we got time to talk now? Is anybody going to come? I said, no. He said, are these guys for fucking real? I mean, these are successful guys. Are these bankers for real? They're asking you questions like they're high school seniors in math. Yeah, these are for real. These are the real guys. And he says, no wonder you wanted to come to China. I said, these are the guys we're going to take down. It's going to be like Jesse James robbing fucking banks. Except they got no guns to chase us. All we got to do is figure out a model that works in China. It's going to be like a Wild West, wide earth, just shooting them down like dogs. He says, Dad, it's unbelievable the unsophisticated questions they ask you. Now, Derek, my son, I said, Derek, they may be just trying to set us up because maybe they're smarter than that. I know they're not. But I don't want my son to become so fucking arrogant that he thinks that, we're just going to walk over these guys. We're not. They're smart guys. But most of the financial community in China is unsophisticated. It just is. They haven't been around long enough. They haven't been raped.
But they will be.
Yeah, but not by me. Only if the Germans come But property developers come, they come from Kaiserslautern in planes, but there's a direct flight to Shanghai. Yeah, or they come from Romania, you know. God forbid they come from Romania. Yeah, but it's, you guys focus on the detail too much. You can't get as many deals done focusing on just the detail. Okay. These are companies, the most admired companies are from 2009. Does that look blurred? It does look blurred, doesn't it? Apple, Berkshire Hathaway, Toyota is still from 2009 before they got in trouble now. Google, Johnson & Johnson, etc. That is blurred. And they're number one, they're ranked number one in their industry. These companies, if they focus, they focus on the detail now because they got worried about product liability and a bunch of other stuff. You don't have those problems. You know, I venture to guess that you, and maybe you, spend as much time as Walmart developing a project to put up a new super Walmart. If it's even anywhere near reasonably close, somebody's doing something wrong.
The bank needs 2 to 3 weeks to decide.
Okay, the bank, we're not talking about the bank, we're talking about you.
Yeah, but if I have the project here and the bank will take 2 weeks and I have time to calculate the numbers whether everything is okay.
So do you give them the information before you do the calculations or after you do the calculations?
I'm in that situation that the bank, after a few years, doesn't ask for details anymore.
That's because you've been successful with all your projects.
Yeah. I say, I want to do this, and it should be so. You can have numbers if you want.
Okay. So you still have a banker that can put your loan through that you've dealt with and have experience with.
Yeah.
That's super. That's normally not the case because the banking situation's all changed. Now, what's the limit of this banker? How much money can he lend?
At the moment, he's about 11 million, and they say they can go up to 100 million, but I don't believe they will do the next year. So, as I said, the project with 125 million, I need another bank for, because they maybe could do this, but they won't go so fast. They did 3 million with us last year, and they promised, they wrote for 11 or 13 million this year, and I cannot come now and say, now please 125, that won't work.
Okay, but I mean, now do the banks have joint venture partners that they can co do a deal together with another bank?
Maybe, but I think the steps would be too fast. From 3 million last year and it was the first project with this bank, and 2 projects which they wrote they will finance this year with about 11 to 13 million, and maybe a bit more. And then during this is not realized, it's just being signed and the part is realized, and I come again with 10 times as much, and I already have 4 times as much as last year. I think they won't be comfortable. So I say, okay, let's do these 10 to 14 millions, and then do a next step when they see everything is fine.
Stefan?
I think one issue with the German banks, the banks which are still lending are the local banks, and they are mainly cooperative banks. So they are not part of the big German banks like Deutsche Bank, Commerzbank and so on, but they are the Volksbank and Sparkasse, which only lend in a very local market. And that's where you can still get liquidity for local projects, but why you reach a ceiling fairly quickly. That's, yeah.
Okay. And so is this the biggest bank in your area?
I think the biggest bank in the area that is in lending mode.
And why are they in a lending mode as opposed to the other banks that aren't in a lending mode?
Because they are locally financing, and there have been nearly no problems at all the last years. And the the big banks all suffer from the financial crisis because they have the one or other customer who broke down.
These local banks basically just lend what they take in deposits. They would never refinance themselves in the interbank market.
Mm-hmm.
They refinance themselves.
They do?
Yeah.
But afterwards.
Depends on how long I want to have a fixed rate.
Okay, well, I mean, so this is an anomaly. This is a pocket of low-hanging fruit,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, well, we'll talk about it when we get to the financing, but how can you maximize the low-hanging fruit that you can gobble down and shove down your throat while the opportunities still exist?
I couldn't write everything in here.
Okay, well, I know you couldn't. I know you couldn't. Okay. If you had another diploma, maybe you could. Maybe you could. Or you could give it to Einstein over here and give it, maybe he could write it.
It's not because it's complicated. It's
No, I know it's not. See, when you yank the chain of a German, he says, well, I understand, but I know it's not fucking complicated. I'm yanking your chain. Do they translate yanking chain?
No, it's
Well,
not a literal translation for it.
Well, I'm teasing you.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Jesus Christ.
So Pena?
Even the impaired, call me Dan, Mr. Penny, I buried my father. Okay, even the impaired gets it. And if the impaired gets it, who is the fucking, even though he may be the smartest, he's obviously the weakest fucking link. Okay, if the impaired gets it, if you get it and the impaired get it, then I figure everybody got it.